Hello and happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Driving Dialogue, where we drive the dialogue while we're driving. And we have dialogue, and that's the name of the podcast. It's a very clever name, if you didn't know. I'd like to thank all the recent viewers, all the recent likes, and I'm really sorry that I forgot your name, but the person who left those comments, it means a lot, you know? Like, it feels so nice to know that people are actually listening, that are actually enjoying the content. So it pushes me to, go through that extra gear and do this podcast and actually, do it. Don't just give up. Don't just quit the podcast. Oh, my numbers are too low. No, don't have that attitude. At least I have some people. At least I have some viewers. At least I have some commenters. And you know what? This podcast is for you. I dedicate it for you. I love you. You're wonderful. You're probably attractive. I'm probably attracted to you. In fact, I know I am, because you like me. And if there's one thing that attracts me to people, it's when they like me. Because if you like me, then I like you. And that's probably not the right way to do things in life, but that's how I roll. I mean, for God's sakes, the first girlfriend I ever had, she asked me out on the date. She called the shots. So I was like, oh, she likes me. Well, then I will now try to like her. She likes me, so now I will learn to like her. And that's probably not how that works. But it's how it's operated for me. Anyways, so I mentioned last podcast how Friday I would have special Friday energy, superpowers, Friday power, Friday vibe, that I would be extra today. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that promise. I mean, I probably would have been a little bit, but I accidentally told a bad joke today to a teacher. For those of you new listeners, I'm a janitor at a school, and there's this particular teacher that every day, ever since the school year began, I walk in there and I tell her a joke. Well, today, as I walked into her classroom, I began to panic because I didn't have a joke prepared, and I was, taking out her garbage, and I'm scrambling in my brain. Put together a joke, quick, put together a joke. Okay, here's a pun. Now we need a setup. Okay, go for it. Let's just go for it. Let's hope that she laughs. Hopefully something's better than nothing. You know what I mean? So I say to her, which celebrity should open a bakery? Which celebrity should open a bakery? And she was just looking at me, tired, Friday tired, just like, I don't know. And I was like, which celebrity should open a bakery? Danny DeVito. And she just looked at me like I slapped her cat. She looked at me like it reminded me of when I was in school. It was like she was my teacher in that moment. I just felt like just this older woman's dissatisfaction and unhappiness with what I just said. It looked like I had really offended her. And she was just like, Jake, that wasn't funny. That was silly. In fact, that wasn't funny at all. And she took the joke very seriously and was like, that's not funny. And so I just put my head down and sadly walked out of her classroom. But it kind of blew my mind that she was so upset about it. That's not funny. It's like, did I offend her? Did I offend her? Does she hate Danny DeVito? Is that what I did wrong? Is she gluten-free? Does she hate bread? Was it because it was a pun? And some people just hate puns for some reason. It's like, it has to be a certain kind of joke or nothing. And I think puns are clever. I like puns. I think they're fun. But looking back on it, maybe it's the punchline. Danny DeVito. Maybe that doesn't roll off the tongue. I should have said, which celebrity should open a bakery? Marlon Brando. Yeah, you know, that maybe that's funnier. I don't know. I went ahead because I was sad, and I went to another teacher, and she's like, "Happy Friday," and I'm like, "Well, not so happy. I told a bad joke earlier, and I kind of feel bad about that, because when you tell a bad joke in comedy, it's called bombing." And I haven't actually done any stand-up comedy in a while, so I haven't tasted a good bomb in quite a minute. So it's just basically one of the worst feelings in the world, you know, because you think you're so clever. You think, oh, here's this special thing I created. Let me share it with you. And then you share it and they hate it. They hate it, and you're an idiot for thinking it. How dare you? How could you think of that? We trusted you. We gave you the opportunity to say something clever. And did you? No, you failed massively. Danny DeVito, go back to clown school. Go back to comedy class, you failure. I meant to say Marlon Brando. So I told the joke to another teacher, the Danny DeVito line, and she didn't get it either. And I was like, you know, Danny DeVito, you know, D-O-U-G-H, dough. And she's like, oh, I get it. But it was like that, oh, I get it, where you don't really get it, but you tell people you get it so they don't feel bad. And so I just walked out of the classroom, failed again. This joke, I really got to retire it. I don't know about it. I think this joke is ruining people's lives. This is that bad of a joke. And then as I'm walking away, she comes outside and she's like, can I tell you a joke that always pisses people off? And I'm just like looking at this teacher. She happens to be one of the same teachers that I referred to on another podcast as kind of soft-spoken and always trying to be everyone's friend, so the kids just walk all over her. So when she said, you want to hear a joke that pisses people off? I was intrigued. I was like, how could this delightful woman possibly piss me off with a joke? But considering how I kind of pissed off the other teacher with my Danny DeVito joke, then yeah, maybe she can piss me off. So she's like, it's already a bad start. Here's the weird joke that she told me. She's like, how many surrealists does it take to screw in a light bulb? And I'll say it again because I don't speak very well and it's a hard word. How many surrealists does it take to screw in a light bulb? A surrealist screwing a light bulb. And I was just like, I don't know. And then she said, fish. And then there was just a pause. And I'm just like, oh, ha, 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 ha. Now I'm fake laughing. And she's like, get it? Because surrealism, you know? And I'm like, yeah, fish. It's definitely surreal of you. Very surreal. And it's like, I don't even know what surreal means. I don't know if surreal is like a night that's real, like a surreal. I don't know what surreal is. I think it means weird. In that case, yeah, your joke was definitely weird. And you know what? It actually did piss me off. I'm thinking about it more. I'm getting angry at her. I'm getting angry. How dare she tell me that joke? It sucked. Now I understand that teacher's plight against me. I understand how a joke can ruin people's lives and ruin the world. So I will never tell that teacher a joke again, and I hopefully never hear a joke from the other teacher again. Though all is not bad in the joke-telling department. I have to think of it this way. I'm kind of 1 for 1 right now. I'm tied. Because even though I bombed telling that one teacher the Danny DeVito joke, I succeeded with another student at the school. There's this one kid with this little boy. He's got long hair. He's kind of weird. He'll just say random things to you to be funny. So, you know, in other words, I really like him. Because I bet I was like him when I was a kid. So because he walks up to me and randomly says random things to me, I walk up to him and randomly say random things to him. And today I saw him, and I didn't have a plan, but I just walked up to him and I was like, hey. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what's your favorite kind of shark? He's confused. Hammerhead. And I'm proud of myself. As soon as he said hammerhead, I said, yeah, you nailed that one. And he laughed. But he kind of rolled his head, and he kind of rolled his eyes too, and was like, I think if anything, you should be impressed with the speed that I was at, man. I was fast. He's like, hammerhead. I'm like, you nailed it. And he's like, It's not necessary. I don't even know why it's that. It's not, I can't explain to you why it's funny, but because of how fast I was, you gotta believe me, it was funny. Hammerhead, nailed it. Oh boy. Well, it's Friday, and I'm kind of excited. We're still celebrating Game Fest. It's this holiday my roommates and I all created together. And today's Friday, so it's sports day. Of course, I'm coming home. It won't be till like 9 p.m. by the time I get out of the shower. But we're still going to go out, I think, and we're either going to play some pool or go bowling. Some kind of sport that we can actually do. I kind of hope we don't go bowling, though, because something about bowling really affects my anxiety. You know? Especially when someone's like in the exact lane right with you, because you basically share a seating area with the people who have the lane next to you. You know, bowling's only fun if it's like not busy, if there's like no one there, it's just you, and you can just, you know, fail at bowling without being judged. Because the thing about someone in the lane next to you when you're bowling is there's this weird courtesy you have to do, where it's like you have to let the other person bowl before you, or they let you bowl before them. It's confusing how the whole bowling order of bowling works. You know, like there's these unspoken rules to like you can't bowl at the exact same time as the person next to you. I don't know why. I guess they need the space. I don't know. But it's just uncomfortable, because if the other person says, no, you can go ahead, you can bowl first. Well, I already knew my friends were watching. Now I know you're watching. And now I know probably your group of friends is watching. So that's like 5 or 6 people watching me do this bowl. Not to mention people in other lanes that are probably watching. So I've got potentially an audience of 10 to 12 people watching you bowl every time you go up to bowl. And that's a lot of frickin' pressure, man. I'm just trying to have fun. I just wanted to do some glow-in-the-dark bowling and listen to, you know, mid-2000s music. Or something like that, man. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to, like, drink a few beers, have some French fries, and throw a giant circle that's heavy into some white pins. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to take this seriously. I didn't want to become that guy in The Big Lebowski. I don't have the skills to pay the bills when it comes to bowling. I don't practice bowling. Bowling's not something you can easily just get into. You can't just, like with baseball, you can just go to a park and throw a ball and hit a ball with a stick. There, you've practiced baseball. If you want to practice bowling, you got to have the bowling shoes, the bowling shirt. There's probably official bowling pants that I don't even know about. You got to wear the little fingerless bowling gloves. You got to take bowling classes. You got to wear a bowling headband. You got to get the bowling membership. You got to get bowling friends. And you got to join a bowling group, probably with older men. You got to get yourself a bowling bag for your bowling ball. And it better be a custom bowling bag with your names initialed on it. it's a bit accessory heavy, and you have to pay, man. It's a rich man's game. Bowling is basically like a heavy version of golf as far as how just a bunch of old rich white guys do it in their free time. So hopefully, in other words, we go play pool or billiards or however, whatever you want to call it, snooker. I hope we play pool, because I love pool, and like pool is basically a drug to me, man. Like I don't know what it is. Something about that table, something about the sticks in my hand makes me feel like Paul Newman in The Hustler. Makes me just feel like a badass. Like I feel like I'm one step away from being a criminal when you're in a pool hall, especially if you could still smoke in there and get some beers. You wear a leather jacket just to play the part. Put the toothpick in your mouth. Oh yeah, I'm so cool. And you can be poor and play pool, man. It's a poor man's game. You don't even need a stick. You just go there and they'll have a stick for you. And granted, you should get a stick just because it makes you that much cooler. If you show up with a stick, then people know you're the real deal. I wish I could have my own pool stick, but they're expensive. Maybe someday I'll have money and can get myself a pool stick, and maybe even a pool table, maybe even my own custom bowling alley. And then I could live the rich old white guy life and do all these silly hobbies and make that my life. My life will just be playing these silly games with my friends, drinking beers. Doesn't that sound nice? A lot nicer than what I currently do, which is work for a living. I don't know, man. When you work the kind of job I do, you get the feeling that I'm never gonna be able to retire, because I'm not exactly putting away enough money. So I'm really hopeful this whole podcast, make videos online thing really starts to pick up, because I'm struggling here, man. We're not even at the end of the month, and I've got the end of the month bank account blues, man. I'm already a little more impoverished than usual, and you know, that's because we've been celebrating this Game Fest holiday, and you know, I've been eating out a lot because we don't have any lights in our kitchen because of the electricity. I don't know when our landlord's gonna fix that. Today, to our surprise, the landlord cut down a tree that I liked. I liked that tree, man. You could have at least asked if, like, hey, does anyone love this tree? Because I'm about to cut your tree down. It's like, I get it, we're renting, so we don't have any real power over what happens at your house, Mr. Landlord. But come on, man, that was a nice tree. It provided all kinds of shade in our side yard. And our dogs, they liked, you know, resting in the shade under that tree. I liked it. It was nice. It was like a weeping willow or something. It was definitely weeping when they were cutting it down, I'll tell you that. But I get it, you know, they haven't pruned our trees in like 2 years, but, you know, I don't like having construction workers or arborists or tree cutter people all up in my backyard and in our personal space. Like, I just want things to go back to normal, man. I just crave normalcy. I just want to wake up and not have one of my trees taken down and my gate has to stay open. And you know, I got a dog, so I had to put her in her harness and put her on a leash to take her into our backyard so she wouldn't run away with the gate open. And I know my dog. I take good care of my dog. I love my dog. And she's my daughter, really. But here's the thing. If she was given the opportunity, I know my dog well enough that she would run the hell away. Maybe she would come back, but I also think I love her to death, but I also think she's kind of dumb and probably wouldn't be able to find her way back home. It's a sad truth. You know, she's a German Shepherd, so she's really smart, but she's also kind of got like a dopey quality to her. Like when I first got her, her paws were too big for her body. And when she walked down the stairs, she basically stumbled down the stairs. and she was still a puppy kind of, and I was just like, dang it, you know what, fine, I gotta take her. She's clumsy, she's in this bad home in the ghetto, she's coming with me, she's coming in the car right now. I'll never forget it, man. She just had this face that you just had to love. You know, I just got like Scooby-Doo vibes from her. She was just like a lovable goof. And she still is. Like, I decided her birthday, because I didn't know her birthday when I got her, so I made up that her birthday is April 1st, because she's my fool. She's my little fool, and I love her, and I miss her so much. Every day I miss her. Like, it's the hardest thing in the world leaving her at home, man, because she just looks at me confused. She doesn't understand. Why am I abandoning her? And honestly, I don't know. Besides the fact that I gotta make money so that I can buy you dog food, I really don't know why I'm leaving. I really don't know. I hate my job. I hate the commute. The only good part of the commute nowadays is that I've started podcasting on the way home, so at least I'm doing two birds with one stone in that case. But my God, I wish I could just work at home and be with my dog, man. I think we all deserve that. If you're a dog owner, it should be a law that you get to stay with your dog. If you're a cat owner, you get to leave, because your cat doesn't want you there. I know cats well enough. They hate us. They tolerate us. That's what I'll say. Cats tolerate us. Dogs love us. I mean, sometimes a cat will love you, but a cat's got a weird way of expressing love. Like, I one time had a cat that was quote-unquote loving me, and it was digging its claws into my body. It was causing me to bleed. It was scratching me, creating scars, and the people who are cat people are like, "Aww, she's giving you biscuits. She's making biscuits." I'm like, that's interesting, because I thought she was making wounds. I thought she was making open wounds into my body. I didn't realize that her cutting my flesh counted as a biscuit. Oh, what a delightfully cute little way of saying that your cat's digging its claws into my flesh. So yeah, I mean, I like cats, I respect them, but I don't know, man, I don't know. Maybe someday I'd have a cat again. I raised cats from kittens, and it was quite the experience. I basically smelt like cat shit and cat food for like a whole month, because I was hand feeding them, bottle feeding them. One of them, someone gave the cat adult food. And when you give a baby cat, a kitten, adult food, it causes them some bowel problems. The poor little girl, like, was having the worst shits. Like, she's this tiny little kitten. And I had to, put her under the sink, like her bottom, and massage the poop out of her. You know, I was hoping this was gonna be the first podcast where I didn't mention poop at all, because I didn't mention it as with the janitor job. As soon as I start talking about how I raise kittens, you kind of have to talk about poop again. My God, so much poop when you're raising kittens. I don't know, I guess it's worth it. They're so cute and small. It's like a little Furby that came to life. They're basically like kind gremlins. They were cute. I miss those cats, but I broke up with the girl, and she kept the cats, because, you know, that's just how it is. Sometimes in the breakups, you lose your kids. You know, that was it wasn't a divorce, but it was a breakup, and I lost my children. I lost my kittens. I miss you, Lucy and Stoney. Wherever you are, I hope you're fine. But I just couldn't be with the girl anymore, man. That girl was bad news for me, and so was her mom and everything, man. Like, I'll tell this story real quick. So, a few years ago, and by that I mean probably like 5+ years ago at this point, I was on Facebook, and I needed a place to live. So I posted on Facebook, "Hello, any of my friends, please, I just need a place to live for a little bit." And she hit me up. She's like, "Hey, I don't got a spare bed or anything, but you can sleep on the floor of my room." And I was like, "Cool, that's awesome. Thanks, buddy." So, I went to her place and I slept on the floor of her bedroom. Now, that sounds fine and dandy, but let's try to set the scene here, right? So, she's got a bed, and I'm on the floor kind of next to her bed, but like at the foot of her bed, where her feet are, I'm laying down over there on the ground. Well, when I wake up in the morning, where her feet were is now where her head is. And so now her head is really close to me on the ground. And not only that, her arm was draped over the side of the bed, almost touching me. And I don't know, I just kind of got the vibes of maybe she was caressing me in my sleep or something. Kind of creeped me out, really. Because I thought we were friends. But, the reality is, you hear about men doing this to women all the time. You hear about how a man will act like he's just a friend to a woman and let her stay at his house, and then he expects sexual favors. Well, guess what? Even though the roles were reversed, the story was the same. And after a while, she began to require sexual favors if I was to stay in her house. And then one time, a few weeks later, we went to get coffee, and we're driving in the car, and everything was normal, just having a normal conversation. And then all of a sudden, she locks the car's doors and starts speeding up the car. And this is a normal-ass road, with street lights and shit. Like, it's probably 45 miles an hour is the speed limit. She must have been going 60, 70, encroaching on 80. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then she turns to me and says, my mom's been asking questions. I need to know, what are we? What are we? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend? And she's speeding up, and the door's locked, and I'm like, oh my God, even if the door was unlocked, I couldn't possibly tuck and roll. I would die, and I'm freaking out. I'm thinking I'm gonna die, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, fine, yes, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, yes. And then she slows down the car, and things calm down. And the good news is, it wasn't much more than a month later. Like, at that point, I was like, all right, I gotta get the hell out of here. I gotta figure out my stuff. I gotta find a new place to live. I unfortunately at that point had to move back in with my mom. I think I was 25. It was so embarrassing. I could just tell too, like, afterwards, my family was like, we really don't want you here. I mean, we love you and, we'll take you, but we really were happy you weren't here. I mean, they didn't say that, but I could tell that's kind of what my family was thinking. It's like, oh, great. Another mouth to feed. Another person using the bathroom. More people in this house, That's kind of the vibe I got from my family about me moving back in. And I get it, I was 25. Who the heck wants a 25-year-old to move back in? It's kind of sad, really. The whole idea is you move out at 18, don't come back. See you at Christmas. But I don't know, man. I know that's the way we've decided socially that life is supposed to be, at least here in America. But like in China and other countries like India, you stay home until you get married. And I'll tell you why that's a good thing. Because when you get married, usually both sides of the family come together and they help the new married couple. Whether it's helping pay for the honeymoon, helping pay for the wedding, helping pay for a new dish set, or the down payment of their first house together, or something. In other words, you should wait till the kids are married so that at least they got double income. They got their income and then their wife or husband's income. So they have a better chance of making it out here in this crazy bullcrap world, man. Things are more expensive now than ever, and we're all earning we're earning We're earning less money than we ever have, and things are more expensive than they ever have been. So why are we of this mentality of, oh, you're 18, good luck? I mean, we wonder why we have a unhoused epidemic here in America. Man, we're going from funny land into politics, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to be a political guy, but I think if there's... I like thinking about things that both sides of the aisle can agree with. And I think both sides of the aisle agree that, it's bad to be it's bad to be unhoused, right? We can all agree on that, can't we? Can't we? Can't we agree on one thing, that you should have a house? And then when I say that, I believe, what we could be doing, man, is you only need so much space, but I do believe you need it. I kind of think a home, health insurance, these things should be human rights. Shouldn't they be? Because, if you don't have insurance, the emergency room still has to treat you. And it comes out of the taxpayers' dollars or something. I don't know. I assume something like that. I don't know, man. I just feel like I heard one time this British guy say this. And it was a British politician. So, they're already smarter than ours. And he said, if you can make money killing people, excuse me. Sorry. If you can make money killing people, then you can make money saving people. If you can make money killing people, you can make money helping people. And I believe it, man. We just got to figure out a way, an incentive, I'm obviously not the smart one to figure it out, but I'm hoping I'm at least a voice that says, hey, we got to fix this. And hopefully someone listening or someone out there, can fix it, because I don't know what the solution is, but we obviously got problems and they need to be fixed. And every year I just feel like we're not fixing the problems, and so the problems just get worse and worse. There's these whole cities of people living in tents. And I kind of do believe people should have the right to live any way they want, but the problem is, if you don't live in safe conditions, you should be able to live any way you want, except if it endangers you or other people. And I think I've heard of so many fires being started because of unhoused camps. I literally had a firefighter or a policeman say to me one time when I lived with my grandparents in South Sacramento, I saw, I think it was a fireman, because he was there to help, they were there to save an old lady. There's a lot of old ladies on that street, but they also were talking about how there was this homeless encampment in the backyard of one of their houses, and they often get called there because of the fires that they start. They get out of control. And it's if we just had places that were safe for these people to go, where they could make a fire, but there's no wild grass around them or shrubbery, if we just built communities for these people to help them get better, help them get the mental health they need. Because, for one thing, it's a whole group of people. There's probably millions of people that are unhoused. Imagine if those millions of people were contributing to society. Wouldn't that be a benefit? Wouldn't it be more of a benefit to have those millions of people involved in our economy, paying taxes, but also a part of the culture, working jobs? Wouldn't that help? I don't know. I guess I'm a little confused about the state of the economy. For example, Starbucks just had to fire thousands of people from their corporate offices and shut down hundreds of stores. But every time I go to Starbucks, the lines out the door, the drive-through is bumper to bumper, and there's like, it's always busy. It's always busy. I mean, the Starbucks I go to is literally next to a senior center and other things like that, and those communities walk right up or take the bus to that Starbucks, and I'll go there and it's just flooded with people like I'm at a snow lodge or something. There's just so many people. It's like, it's unsettling, especially first thing in the morning. So it's just baffling to me that Starbucks is apparently struggling. They made like 50% what they're supposed to make in profits or something. I don't know. I'm hearing people say, you know, their prices are too high. Maybe lowering the prices would help. I think the problem is the food. I think because, like, when I hear people make arguments, they're like, well, you can go to McDonald's and get, you know, a coffee. And I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, but, you know, you can get a really gross coffee from McDonald's, but I guess the incentive is you can pick up a burger. But, like, the coffee's way better at Starbucks, but, like, all they have to eat for breakfast that I like is the saddest burrito you've ever seen. It's like half the size of a Taco Bell burrito, and it's just full of egg and cheese. Like, there's nothing else going on it. Dare we try and put any vegetables or spices in the damn thing? No, it's this bland tortilla full of bland cheese and, you know, overcooked egg. I don't know, man. If Starbucks wants to, you know, do better, maybe they should just be better. You know, maybe that's the thing. Maybe the solution isn't just firing everyone. Maybe the solution is looking at your product and improving it. You know, that's just me. But obviously I love the coffee. I'm obsessed with the coffee. I mean, oh my God. I drink the damn stuff once, sometimes twice a day. I almost picked up some coffee even on the way home from work tonight. And I don't care. I'll drink coffee even before bed. I don't care. I love it. That stuff is the elixir of life. The lifeblood of the gods is coffee. I would replace it with my blood if I could. If it didn't kill me, I would. And I'd become Super Jake. I would just become pure caffeine, and I would be able to accomplish all of my tasks in 15 minutes, and I'd be able to relax the rest of my day the way God intended. I really don't know. I think I'm talking pretty crazy on this podcast today. Off the top of my head right now, the one thing I'm thinking about is, like, what the heck am I going to cut from this podcast to advertise? Because that's one thing I do, is I take a clip from the whole thing, like about a minute-long clip, and I use it to advertise the podcast on TikTok. And, you know, looking back, I don't even know if I even told any stories this one. I think I literally just ranted on and on like a crazy person. Hopefully there's at least one story. I'll listen to it again. I'm sure there's a story hidden in here somewhere. But I'm almost home, and I'm just sort of tap dancing around the fact that I'm almost home. Because it's Friday, and, you know, I'm kind of tired and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. The point, this whole podcast thing is new to me still. So, you know, I'm just... Anyways, we're done. We're almost home. Pulling into my drive-through. Wow, drive-through, huh? Huh. I think I'm hungry. No, driveway. Let's see what they did today. Well, they cut down more trees. There's now piles of lumber in my driveway. And there's probably about a ton or so of foliage just sitting here. It's 8 o'clock at night, and I think the workers are just now leaving. They're still here. How the heck were they cutting trees in the dark? Whatever. Almost done. All right. Car's parked. Whew. What a day. Hope you liked this one. Thanks for listening. Thanks for commenting and liking, and I hope you have a good day.